Hi Stampin' friends, tonight we're going to use the Perfectly Pears bundle with the Painterly Pears designer series paper. I keep calling it all Painterly Pears, but this is Perfectly Pears. So I will try to imagine calling it this instead. You can see it has some great little kind of put together things. It has a good friend as a gift, thank you, hello, congratulations, and then friend. So, you know, the only thing that you could wish is like some kind of happy harvest or something like that, but I think it'll be fun to use. I've done a few little practice pairs. Using some with just Darling Duckling, some with Darling Duckling. This is the one that I ended up liking the best with the Darling Duckling, a little bit of Old Olive and a little bit of like a Calypso Coral in there to just kind of make a spot that was ripe-ish. And then I'm also, tonight I'm going to use different colors instead for the background. I have this card that I made for class. It's an easel. It's kind of a modified easel. This is one that just has the designer series paper down here. So it's just basically a Z-fold. You can, you know, cover this completely with a full-size piece of cardstock. What I did here was something slightly different, just to use the designer series paper as the only back that it has. And then I did two of those pairs with different directions, placing the stems in different directions. And then a good friend as a gift. And you can see I've used the matching ribbon down here that comes with this suite, if you choose the suite. And then these bright yellow bling, which are here. They come in yellow, a secret sea, and an old olive, and they are the low profile sparkle dots. So that is that little completed card. And then we're gonna make a couple more. The first thing I wanted to do was use this, and actually there'll be a dozen different ways to use this, but use the secret sea piece. It has a background of the grid lines on this Darling Duckling are actually petal pink, but I think this is just so pretty. This paper is where I cut out the die cuts will cut out these shapes, the little double pairs, and then the stem and the regular pair. And then the back is this mossy meadow on Old Olive. So you can use this as a strip of that on something for another project, because this is right along the edge here before it gets completed ones that you can cut out. And then this piece is the background right here that you can see on my original card. And on the back of it is like a completely edged piece of white with the pears all around it. So it'd be really nice for scrapbooking. Then, oops, I dropped something. These little guys are part of the little die cuts that we don't necessarily have a stamp for. You can see this one is on like a going gray or a basic gray, whatever that's not what it's called. Smoky slate, sorry. Okay. This one is, the background is smoky slate, and it has very ripe looking pears, or the kind of pears that get this color. I noticed that sometimes they'll be green and be fully ripe. So you just kind of have to figure out which kind we're talking about. This is that same pattern here. At the back of it is the secret sea color. And I just wanted to show you that backing since I had this on the other one. And then we have this, which is it's almost a wild wheat, but it is supposed to be Darling Duckling. And the back of it is a little sprig of I guess flowers, small flowers. And I wanted to also talk about what a difference it looks like when you put this on white versus when you put it on a richer color like the Darling Duckling. It really gets it to be kind of homier looking. All right, so I did a couple different things. Did some stamping, some die cutting so that I could do some stamping, because they say that this one is, now it's not entirely, but they say that it is basic beige. So I cut some basic beige to kind of play with and see what we think. And I also cut some petal pink, and kind of oddly, I guess, I cut some lemon lolly to see what it looks like when we stamp it on lemon lolly. But the first thing I'm gonna do on this card is stamp the pears, the little double pear stamp on this piece of, this is the Spotlight on Nature dies. I couldn't find my stylish shapes. I'm not sure what I did with them. But I thought that could be a little kind of corner piece there, or anywhere, wherever you decide, whichever pears you like, you want to show. Don't cover up, I guess. And then I'm gonna go ahead and color this one. I hope it'll be fairly quick with our blends. So I'm using the Memento Basic or Tuxedo Black, and even though it's navy, the Secret C #1 is so dark that I don't think it'll matter. And then also it will, and I'm hoping these kind of go off the edge, but not too much. So we'll see how that looks when we get finished. We may not like it. Let's see. Yeah, just barely off here at the top. So I kind of like that. Just gonna grab some blends. There's a little bit of stem here, and I'm just gonna use this Pecan Pie marker, not a real marker, not a blends, just because it has a finer tip, and I think I'll do a better job of coloring. This is my regular Old Olive. And I'm just putting a little bit of color on it, and then I'm going to come back in. Even though these aren't blends, I don't know if you all see much use of these anymore, but the Stampin' Right markers are still really nice. They're still a lot of fun to use. Then this is our, no, not this one. This is our soft seafoam. Just coloring that in. And then I'm going to go back in with some of this Daffodil Delight blend, which is kind of random, but I think that will make the leaves really pop. Okay, then just gonna do a little trace on the one side, maybe both sides. There we go. And then a little bit of our lemon lolly there. So if you want to highlight the yellow, I think that I've really put enough on here. I feel like that really does shine. But if you want to highlight the green, then you could do that as well. It's kind of the centers, I don't know, just kind of a decision to make there. And then you can use the Secret C ribbon or the Darling Duckling ribbon, whichever. And then I'm gonna use, I think, the green. See what you think, see which one you think is your favorite. But I think I'm gonna use the green, which is, I think, supposed to be Old Olive. It's a little bright, but I'm gonna put the green on there. Like that. And then maybe this little strip here, or maybe this, I don't know which, and put my thank you. I'm gonna use the Secret C for that. it on this smaller one. I didn't look to see if I had it straight. Oh, I actually kind of do. It's a little bit high, but cut it a little shorter on this side. Maybe like that. I like that placement. And then just put a few of these guys on there. Use a couple of the little ones. Maybe right out on the edge. Whoops. Okay. So there you can see the first plan that I have for that. Then I'm gonna go ahead and close this up. Kind of play with this one a bit, I think. And imagine putting this on there and then maybe grab these little guys. Or these. These, I think one thing that you might want to do is on the inside of your card, put the little clump of two. If you see, these aren't exactly the same pair, so you could use whichever one you like. And put this on here, maybe put it, I think I like putting it behind. And then let's go ahead and, I don't want to cover up too much of this, but go ahead and stamp on here with maybe a little friend thing, a good friend as a gift. I'm gonna use my old olive here. Nice. And there's that. And then I would also want to get this beautiful shiny gold ribbon and get that going. Maybe a bow again, maybe a strip across. One thing I do notice, this ribbon is definitely shinier on one side than the other, so I'm going to go ahead and do it as if it were a single-sided ribbon, and I want the green side to show, so I'm going to try to twist it so that I get the green side showing, both loops in green. I wouldn't really mind if the bottom was not green, but the loops I want to be the same color. Just twist that around till I have it. Whoops, I got that one twisted back. All right, so I could put this across the entire bottom, or it could look great just going across this. So let's try that. One thing about this one, I'm gonna wait to show you until a later live, but it looks great, kind of pulled on the edges and like a little bit of a tuft of it. But I think that'll look better on maybe on one that has actual, oh my, I didn't quite get that like I intended, that has gold in the paper. Whoops, wow, know my own strength. Or the strength of the glue dots. I think that might actually be what I didn't know. Okay, so there's that. Our little pear on there. And then our little bow down either right here or down there. Whoops, twisted it again. There we are. And then to finish this one off, I'm not sure if I would want yellow or green, or probably not blue, but maybe the green again, because it's gonna look really good with this ribbon. So maybe there, and there, and up there. All I usually try to do is put them in a little triangle, but sometimes I don't even really want them in a triangle. Just kind of 6 of 1 on that. But there you can see that possibility. Okay, now I'm going to make this card. I'm going to try some stamping possibilities here. Do some seeing which one we prefer and see about stamping my thanks on here. It looks like it's small enough. I can't decide. That is how small it is. And the thing that seems good about it, I might use a different color, but the thing that seems good about this is how small it is. Like I was saying, you know, you'll be able to see quite a lot of the paper. Let's see how I feel about the old olive here. Or about the size of the stamp. Well, it's a little high, but I think that will look nice. And then I'm going to go through and do some stamping. Now, what I did on this was stamp and then use my stamping blending brushes to add color to this. So let's see what we think about that. I'm going to use the, I think I'll use Old Olive. I think that would be the easiest. For the edge, to just try to stamp an edge on here. Okay. Then the same thing with our, as soon as I find them, our little leaves and stem. And then I'm going to take the pumpkin pie and color on the stamp for the stem. And then here's one of our little stems. Now, I did not do the outline on this one. Didn't really think about it, but I could. Let me look and get it out. Oh yeah, that looks very soft and pretty. Go ahead and get that out. Oh, I thought I would. There it is. Okay. And I'll do it the same way. My Old Olive. And then I'll use the pecan pie again, down the stems. Hopefully I'll do a decent job. Oh, I can't tell if I am or not. Okay, very nice. Adds a little texture. And then I'm going to go back in with this stamp. I might use a little green, maybe on the edge. Go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to use the Calypso Coral. And let's see here. I think the Daffodil Delight. Keep it from being too dark. I'm going to grab my yellow blending brush and pop some color on here. Let's kind of cover the whole thing. You'll hear me kind of stamping it there, kind of pounding. Sorry about that. And then I'm just going to add a feet orange. Maybe I should add some green back. What do you think? So I may have gotten that off there. And this is one of those that's just kind of like, who knows what it's going to turn out to be. Just have to wait and see. So now I'm doing some Calypso Coral. I want to get that. Orange can be really a lot, so I just kind of pounced that off on the underpad thing. Okay, I'm adding that to the center. All right, so here I go. Huffing it because it's been a minute since I applied the first color. Pop that on there. And there you can see it's very subtle and light. So I could complete that pretty easily by just putting my guy on there. And I got this one cut nicely so there's not a lot of extraneous paper on there. And then we have our thank you on there. And you could put this, you might not want to, but you could put this behind it as well. This is the die cut piece that comes with it. So you could add that as another texture layer. This is the little tiny blooms that come with it in white. I also cut those out with petal pink, so it's kind of whichever one appeals. So then I'm gonna grab this guy and maybe put on some yellow accents since we used the basic beige on this one. Put that up here. And you could put some of these, probably you'd want more than one. Here's another one. Put that there, kind of add those. Maybe put this one underneath. That'll just add some texture. You could have this coming from the top as if it's on the branch, or whichever. You could also color the branch part in, again, with our trusty pecan pie, and that would make that super cute as well. Okay, so I've shown you a lot of possibilities, different ways to use it, maybe not all of them, maybe not the best ones. I love to save things for you. So I showed it in the Secret C here, and I showed it in with the basic beige on the Darling Duckling, and then with this one I showed it cut out, and on this layer is petal pink, and then we have the moss background, the mossy meadow. Oh, I should have shown you here stamping on that was one of my favorite things that I wanted to show you. So let me do that real quick, just with I'll try to do this quickly, just with my little blending brushes. Use the yellow, which is our Daffodil Delight. Kind of putting that all over. Okay, and then I want to use my Calypso Coral. Right in the center. I'm not sure I got enough that time. And then I'll use my Old Olive on the edge. Let's see what we think here. Oh, there you can see it leaves a really light and pretty color scheme on there. It's so light in my room, I'm not sure you can see it, but what I see, I enjoy. So that'll be fun to play with as well. And then, of course, we have these guys that the paper already cuts out so nicely. And then this is my stamped easel version, very simply put together. Just, you know, this is our Z fold that we used last time. I was just trying to repeat it so you don't forget. It's an 11 by 4 1/4 sheet of paper, scored at 5 1/2, and then scored again at 2 3/4. So that makes it, you can put your ribbon across here if you'd rather, but I just kind of wanted it down there. So it makes it kind of lay a little flatter this way. So I appreciate you all watching, and I hope that you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.